Alright, so what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I was supposed to go to the shop today and work on the Evo, but to be honest, I just didn't feel like driving over there, so instead we're going to be working on the Subaru today. It's a win-win for us anyways. So, the game plan for today is to kind of get some of the interior cleaned up, put back together, get some more of the wiring knocked out, get the oil pan pulled off the car, and get it marked where I'm going to get the oil return for the turbo welded on there. I am just going to weld it myself, so tomorrow I'll go to, what is it called? The place. What is the place called? I don't remember the name of the place. I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow. I'm gonna pick up some shielding gas for the welder because I am out. Keep in mind, my welds are not the prettiest, but I can at least weld steel enough to be able to make metal stick to metal. So I can definitely get that bung welded onto the oil pan. Aluminum is a different story. I can kind of weld aluminum, but it does not look pretty at all. So I don't need it to look pretty. I'm just gonna get the bung welded on there, go to the shop after it's welded on. We'll powder coat it, make it look all nice, and to prevent rust from getting onto it. So and a little update before we jump into it. Also, if you have not entered our giveaway for the 500 wheel horsepower capable EG33, jump in. We've got our manly rods for the giveaway. We've got a brand new salt bath nitrated OEM Subaru crankshaft. We have our rod bearings and our main bearings right there. Our case halves are down and out front, so if you do want to get entered into that giveaway, giveaway ends January 17th. Rules for the giveaway are all on the website if you want to check out if you're eligible or not. For the most part, it's US citizens only, unfortunately. It's just worldwide stuff with giveaways gets a little bit sticky. So if you want to enter, get entered. Now, I also got this today, which is a valve spring compressor tool for the Evo for the 4G63, baby. So that way I can change the oil seals in the 4G's head, because I do want to change those before jumping into it. So now over here, this is where I'm going to start today. I'm going to get this wiring swapped out. This is for the front half of the car. I did mangle up and kind of hack up some of the wiring up here in the front of the car, so I'm going to go ahead and get that corrected. I'm going to go ahead and get this fuse box put back together permanently, so that way I don't need to keep taking it apart and getting like all wiring all over the place. These power wires for the Haltech, I am going to end up moving over to the starter over there, but we'll do that here in a little bit. So first up, let's get this bumper off. Let's get that wiring pulled out that goes up here to the front of the car and get that new harness in. So old harness is out. This is the one that I had hacked up, deleted some stuff off of. I probably didn't need to swap that harness, but I figured since I swapped everything else in here, I might as well. So there's a couple things I'm gonna have to move around when I go to pull exhaust out of here. Some of those wires sit dangerously close to the exhaust manifold down there and are a fire hazard. So I've got some of them. I just need to reroute them through, like in between the intercooler right here and the frame right there. Got this light put back in so it's not sitting around. I got them both plugged in. I've got everything ran back through. Both of the grounds for the fuse box for that harness are on there, and the fuse box is fully reassembled at this point, so I can go ahead and get that cover back on, which I'm like hiding over here for some reason because I don't want to look at this hot mess of a fuse box anymore. Is that how you go on? Are you on? I don't even know if that's on. Bam! It's on. So now that I don't have to stare at that anymore and all the wires reran, I deleted a couple things off here. Well, I didn't delete them, but I just cut the connectors off, heat shrinked them, and then taped them down so that way they're not in the way. We don't need them, and not depinning them allows me, if I absolutely have to, I can put those connectors back on just for secondary air pump and for AC. We don't have AC in this car, obviously, or a secondary air pump because, well, that wasn't a thing in 1995 for Subaru. So all that's pretty much golden at this point. So now I need to come down here. I need to do both fender wells and clean up all the wiring that's hanging down. These are just like the extra length of ground for the battery relocation, the main harness that runs into the engine bay. I need to do the same thing in this fender well too. I'm trying to knock out like all the tiny crap that's in the way, so that way we can just focus on Haltech wiring. But check this out. This looks dope. So the headlights look friggin' awesome with that cutout right there for the turbo in there. Oh, baby. Low beams work work on this side, no high beam obviously. Same with this side, low beam, high beam does work on this side, but like I said, these are also like race headlights or when we're going out to a show or something like that. If somebody wants to peek inside of there, like I said, I'll probably grab a set of Subi Speed Euro styles. I like the Euro style ones for if I want to drive it in the rain or daily drive or anything like that. So let's get to cleaning up some of this fender well lighting now, so that way we can move on to the fun stuff. Well, and get some of the interior back in after that, because the lights are, there's crap everywhere back there. So all the fender well wiring is cleaned up. I just wanted to get it all cleaned up so that way no more wirings like sitting on the ground. Now that we're pretty much done messing with the OEM side of the wiring harnesses for up here, I don't need to be pulling them out of the fender wells any longer. So I've got both of them all cleaned up. No more wires hanging down here, which is perfect. There's a little bit more cleanup on wiring that we need to do inside of the car. So I've been using the engine harness to ground out the ECU in here. So if you see that, that's all the stock engine harness and the ground just going up there. So I need to trace that back to the main connector plug up in the bulkhead, find which wire is the ground, pull it out, and then ground out that one wire so that way our stock ECU is grounded. I've also decided I think I'm gonna ditch this catch can setup. As much as it looks killer, it fits phenomenally, but I think I'm gonna go with a little bit smaller of a unit, like an IAG AOS or something like that. I can make it work because we got one breather right here, one breather over here, and then I can put the AOS up in the stock location and just push it up as high as I can, and then run all the hoses to where I need to. It'll also get the benefit of being able to drain that oil back into the engine. We'll run the competition series so it'll vent out to the atmosphere. I'm still playing around with that idea. I don't know, I'm not 100% set on it yet. So while old Tanner may have been stupid and completely tore apart the harness, I did do one thing that is nice, and I labeled everything off of the main bulkhead connector so that way I know what goes to what. So I'm gonna go verify on STIS which wire is the ground, verify that I do have it correct on this configuration here. Then we're gonna go into the car, pull out the ground off of that connector, ground it out, and then pull out that engine harness in there. So let me go hop on the computer real quick and find out which wire goes to what. I'm back like 10 minutes later. So I've got all of my grounds pulled out here. So I've got 5 or 6 of them that need to be grounded. So I've got sensor ground. I have one sensor ground to be grounded. Engine 1, engine 2, engine 3, engine 4, and engine 5. I couldn't find this body ground. I don't think that it's in this harness here. So we're gonna go pull out these 5 wires from our wire harness, get them grounded, pull out that harness that I have in here, test everything, and hopefully make sure it works. So I guess let's do that. So I gotta say, I am like wiring. Nobody likes to do wiring, and wiring can be extremely scary, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Let me say that, and wiring is a skill that is so nice to be able to have. I'm pretty pumped about how this came out, and everything still works, and I'll show you guys that. So as you guys know, I was using the stock engine harness to be able to test the car and using the grounds on that because there's like 5 grounds that run through that. Now in here, I know it was a little bit difficult to see what I was doing. There's just not a lot of spots to put a camera because even if I put it behind me, you guys wouldn't have seen anything. So right down here, you can see I've got all of the grounds pulled off of that main connector, and then they run into that one harness that then goes up and grounds out right there. So all the grounds in that are engine grounds 1 through 5 and the signal grounds, just to be able to satisfy the system. So without having the grounds on there, the car would 100% freak out. So as you can see, our security light flashes on there and everything like that, just like it should. If I come down here and I push the button, we get on, accessory mode, and off. So everything still works perfectly. Go ahead, shut all that off. So next up, I want to hop into the back seat and start getting some of these trim panels back on that run all up behind there. A, so I can get them off the rack. B, because I don't have to run any more wiring back here. I'm not going to, somebody asked if I was going to run all the panels back in the trunk. No, the trunk is going to stay gutted. I do plan on putting some other things back there. Plus with having the relocated battery and everything like that, I just don't see a real point in it. I don't know, maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I may just do a little cutout for the battery back there. Let's jump in the back and start getting all those panels put back in, all the trim pieces, just to make it look like an actual like back seat again, since there's not much else I have to do back there. So I've got the entire back seats all put back in. I'm missing a lot of clips, but to be expected. The car's been apart for almost a year at this point. I'm guessing they either broke or I lost them, so I'm gonna have to get some replacements ordered for those. But from the B pillar to the back of the car, pretty much all trim panels are put back in, and it's starting to look fully like a car again. So I've decided I'm just gonna go full speed on the STI right now to try to get the Subaru running. There's still things that I need to order. I have decided I am just gonna get an IAG AOS. I'll get the comp series for this car, and that should be more than sufficient because I need a spot to mount the coil pack, so I'm gonna put the coil packs where the current breather can is. So at this point, back seats are fully reassembled. The weather stripping can live in its home permanently. All the trim panels back up in here are put back in, going all the way around the back seat. Dude, it's so weird that it's like, it's looking like a freaking car again. The wrap's gonna be coming off soon. The wrap's gonna stay on until the car's running, just because it gets like banged into, bumped into, things hit it, so the wrap does protect the paint for now, so I'm not gonna worry about taking it off quite yet. But let me show you what I'm talking about up here. So with the coil packs, I don't know if I can run SVX coil packs in this, if they're gonna be enough. I'm gonna see what I can find for aftermarket SVX coil packs, or if there's a custom company out there that'll make me some like strong coil packs for this car. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea if they're gonna be enough or not. Because those R35 GTR ones, we could make work on like an external plate mounted up there with leads coming down to each side of the engine. But to be honest, I don't know how well that's going to work either. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for coil packs on this. I'll see what I can find for SVX ones. But with this guy gone or moved or just not being used, I can put the IEG AOS right up in that corner, have the big dong coming down and out. I can still run coolant through it because this engine only has 3 breathers, unlike an STI. There's only one breather plate, but there's only one breather on each side of the head versus like an STI or an EJ having 2. So, and I need to get those Dash 10 AN banjo fittings for this. Thank you for those who did point that out because I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm gonna be practicing my welding on some of the stuff that you guys are gonna be seeing back here. I did throw one of these guys back into, I don't know why, but I definitely can't put one in on that side. I'm gonna try to make the floor pan work here. I think I'm just gonna cut it right here and then just leave that exposed, so that way it's just not a giant gaping hole back here. But you know, we're chooching right along. So now I'm gonna crawl underneath the car, grab the oil pan off of this thing, put an X on it, and we're gonna get a hole drilled in it, so that way we know where we want our oil return. So I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be like right down there somewhere. So let me crawl down there and find it. Oh no! Okay, so, oh my god, dude, there's like, so with our turbo right there, our oil return, I'll have it come down. I'll put a P-clip here. That's really close. Maybe like right here will be a good spot for oil return. I could do right there. Honestly, right there doesn't look like a bad spot. So we'll do it right there. Was it only the one bolt holding it on? It might just be the one bolt. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then oil pan comes right out. Dope. Hey, oil pickup. Windage tray, how you guys doing up in here? I still gotta get all this cleaned up. I'm gonna run all this through the parts washer over at the shop just to get it all nice and clean, but glad to see it's looking solid. Solid! So that's gonna go right there. My whirly bird. So that is more progress you made, guys. It's like 10 o'clock right now. I am tapped out for the night. But like I was saying, I think I'm going to go full speed on the STI at this point and just focus on getting this car going. There's definitely some things that I still need to order, which are going to take a little bit of time to get in. But for the most part, I think we have bulk majority of everything here. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you guys are pumped for the STI, all the progress, like all we've been making now is progress. Ever since getting that wiring situation figured out, I'm motivated to get this thing fucking going. So if you guys liked the video, you know what to do. Go to hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And once again, if you guys want to be entered into the giveaway, the peach drive hoodies are muy magnifique in my opinion. If you do want to get entered and grab one, by all means go ahead and do so. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.